Well, a very good afternoon. Thanks for clicking on to the Wednesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. The reason why I'm doing it on my phone today, the video, is because there's an awful lot of crackling coming off the laptop. So I've done two videos and it was far too crackly. So I thought, I'm going to just record the video today on my phone so there is not that interruption with the noise in the background. Believe it or not, this is a very similar setup at the moment today, April 11th, as it was back on the 27th of February, as the Beast from the East was drawn in, the coldest air in several years, to the British Isles. Of course, that very Irmas that brought the coldest March day on record for the British Isles. The big difference this time around as opposed to then was we have not a cold but warm continent. And even at 850 millibars, if you look at the GFS temperature chart, believe it or not, we have got a warmer than normal 850 temperature across the British Isles. You wouldn't believe that if you lived in the UK, especially to the east of the UK, where it's cloudy, it's drizzly, and it feels really raw in that easterly wind. It's the North Sea to blame for that, because we've got 15 to 16 degrees on the Dutch and Belgian coast this afternoon, but as that air travels across the 5 to 6 degree waters of the North Sea, the air mass is cooled to that level. That's the sea surface temperature, and that is why we're seeing such a nippy feel to the air up and down the east coast. But get yourself inland, and especially over towards the west or northwest of England and Scotland, and it's a very different story. Sunshine and even temperatures into the mid teens. And the reason why is that the air crosses the hills and the mountains, it compresses as it then downslopes the western side of the hills. And of course, with the help of sunshine, you've got the combination of sun and compression, which heats the air. So it's a classic time of the year for a chilly North Sea when you've got onshore winds. Of course, the North Sea is at its coldest level of the year at this point. But while we've got a warm air mass crossing and cooling the North Sea, what we're going to essentially do is we're going to start to see the area of high pressure over Scandinavia start to stretch down over Germany, into France, into Spain. At the same time, we're going to see areas of low pressure coming in from the southwest, from the Atlantic. And it's as the two meet, we're going to draw that air up from the western Mediterranean, up through France, and instead of crossing, a few hundred miles of cold water, it's going to essentially cross only 50 to 60 miles of water, and therefore is not going to cool anywhere near the same levels. So with a southerly wind into the weekend and into next week, we are going to be talking about the first warm spell of the spring so far. Temperatures 21 quite easily at the weekend for London and East Anglia. And then as we go from late weekend and into next week, we're going to even be talking about temperatures in the central belt, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Perth, Dundee. We're going to be talking about potentially the first 21 Celsius of the year. Get yourself further north between Inverness and Fraserburgh, right along that Murray coast. You've got the influence of the downsloping of the Grampians with a southerly wind. We could be talking about 22, 23 degrees here. So we are going to be going from a cold easterly at the moment to a warm southerly or southwesterly by the time we reach the weekend. And it's all just because of moving the area of high pressure and the low pressure to a different position, and there of course means we've got air masses coming in from a different direction. So amazingly, it is the same setup as back at the end of February, beginning of March with the Beast from the East, but the air mass itself is not cold. It's just simply the North Sea cooling the air mass, and therefore it makes it feel distinctly raw out there. Hope you have a great day, and I'll be back in the next few days with more. Bye for now.